Good evening, race fans, and welcome back to the Racing for Children's IndyCar Series. Fun, competitive racing for charity. Today we're at the virtual Iowa Speedway. It's going to be a good time around the small oval track. And again, thank you for those tuning in and supporting the broadcast. Here at the Racing for Children's IndyCar Series, it's not just an iRacing league, also racing to help raise awareness and funding to cure childhood cancer and blood disorders. As always, I'm your host, James E. Spring to Action Sandy P, 60 frames a second. On behalf of Team Goon Squad Broadcasting, looks like drivers getting gridded up, ready to go here today. Let's go ahead and run through tonight's grid. Starting on pole, Nick Hill, Cop Car in the number 4 machine. Paul Gibson starting second. Casey Carrington starts third. Andrew Neri starting fourth. Gareth McAllister starting fifth. Jared Ziegler starting sixth. Daniel Brindley starting seventh. John Kasai starts eighth. Peter Rettinger starting ninth. Nick Terrell starting 10th. We've got Norman King starting 11th. Brian Ziegler will be starting 12th. Cycling it back. And it's going to be Matt Brewer, the number 2 machine, rounding out the 13-car grid here. Let us know where you're from, who you're cheering on, as the drivers always appreciate having the fans come out and force cheering them on each and every week. And these shows would not happen without our viewers from across the world, so thank you again to the friends and family to help make this happen. Following along behind our iRacing safety car, again, is Cop Car and Gibson on the front row. Carrington and Neri will round out the third row here. Looks like we're going to do one more lap around pacing here at Iowa. And a big shout out as well to our friends at Nemesis Labs coming on board as a sponsor this season. As this is the NemesisLab.com 180 here at Iowa. Pace car will be in next time by. Making their way through turns 3 and 4. Pace car is in.
Green flag, green flag.
And here we go, the Nemesis Labs 180 Cop Car with a commanding launch. Gibson's going to tuck in behind, looking Carrington, the 03 machine. But I think I just saw some 3-wide action there as Andrew Neri, Daniel Brindley, Jared Ziegler all in the mix here. McAllister's falling 2 spots down to 7th. And already we've got impact. That was Andrew Neri tagging the outside wall. He's going to have to take a tow here if the caution doesn't come out. Not seeing a caution as of yet, so Neri's going to take a tow back to pit road, avoiding the caution. Let's take a quick look, see what happened to Neri. Was it a self-inflicted incident? No, a little bit of contact there. We'll put Neri into the wall, going to have to take that tow. He's going to come back, hopefully as quick as he can. As Cop Car still your race leader. I think that may have been Daniel Brindley, also tied up in that 92 machine. Now the pace starting to wick up as, yes, we get confirmation Brindley has come down pit road. Cop Car holds on to it. Holds on to the lead. Paul Gibson second, Carrington in third. If we go back to Peter Rettinger in fourth, he's got Jared Ziegler right behind him. As it looks like the field's starting to stretch out, but we got a little bit of action going on. There's Matt Brewer, Nick Terrell, Brian Ziegler battling 9th, 10th, and 11th. Ziegler working the inside line against Terrell's 81 machine. Matt Brewer's going to make it 4 positions gained. I wonder if Terrell may have had a solo incident there as he is starting to fall off the pace rather quickly. And up front, it looks like a bit of a heated battle for 4th underway. Gareth McAllister, Peter Rettinger, Jared Ziegler running 4th, 5th, and 6th. As Rettinger looking for a way around here, narrowly avoids contact with Ziegler's big green mean machine, the 57. As the all-black 44 of Rettinger slowly falls back. McAllister's got to be happy to see those guys duking it out. He wants to get up and away from these guys as he is slowly reeling in Casey Carrington in that third place position. Oh, there's Redinger tagging the outside wall. He's going to have to come down pit road rather soon. As we pan back to the upcoming battle for third, there's Carrington, McAllister, Ziegler. Third, fourth, fifth, separated by less than a half second between those three drivers. Oh, and there we go. There goes McAllister working his way up into third, edging narrowly in front of Carrington. Looks like Jared Ziegler trying to find the number, follow behind the number 25 machine, McAllister. But, oh no, there we go. Both drivers in absolute tandem drilling the inside wall here. McAllister, Carrington have ruined those race machines. And let's grab an instant replay because we saw that one coming there. So we're watching the two yellow cars. McAllister, the number 25 machine. Carrington, the 03. Let's see. I think it's going to be Carrington. May wash up the track. Carrington's on the inside line. McAllister running high. And who runs out of talent first? Oh, I think it's just two drivers trying to occupy the same spot. It looks like Carrington may have come up, but it's tough to tell if McAllister was coming down. And look at the hard impact on the front of those machines and just a perfect tandem pirouette. IndyCar drivers in the main season, professional figure skaters in the off season, as unfortunately McAllister and Carrington looking like they're going to be done here unless they can limp it back to pit road. So that's going to be our first caution of the night. Let's see who all comes down pit road here. Looks like everybody's going to stay out. I take that back. Brian Ziegler, number 5 machine, he came in on lap 12. One of the few drivers to take fuel on that stop. I can't tell if he took tires or not. Again, that's going to be our first official caution of the night. 14 laps in. Carrington and McAllister still on pit road. Looks like Carrington. No, it looks like McAllister. I believe both drivers still on pit road, so neither one has retired. Andrew Neri's back out on track after getting his car repaired after that long tow. Looks like Matt Brewer may be coming down pit road as well. The number 2 machine all by his lonesome. So we're all slotted in behind the iRacing safety car. We're waiting to get back out there. Looks like we're going to go one more lap around here at Iowa. It's going to be Cop Car, your race leader. Gibson, second. Jared Ziegler has worked his way up into third. Hard Charger out on track. Going to be Norman King, the number 28 machine. He has gained 6 positions so far. I believe Pace Car will be in this time by as they make their way out of turn 4.
Green, green, green.
And there we go. The green flag is out. Away they go. Cop Car, Gibson, Ziegler. A massive breakaway over Peter Rettinger. As it looks like we've got the connection issues fixed here in the booth. Cop Car holds on the lead. Gibson and Ziegler have been having an absolutely fierce battle here for second. Now let's see, can Paul Gibson close that 0.8 of a second gap Cop Car has been able to build up as Jared Ziegler still in hot pursuit. And if we go a little bit further back, still have a battle for 10th going on. McAllister and Carrington, who were involved in that incident early on, they're 3 laps down from the race leaders, but still only separated by about 1/4 of a second. Trying to see who that is right behind them. I wonder if that's maybe, yes, that's Andrew Neri, the 65 machine. He's about 9 laps down and just trying to get some laps clicked off here. Now I think between Carrington and McAllister, they may take it a little bit easier here, at least ever so slightly, as it sounded like Carrington may have tapped that outside wall. Saw a little bit of puff of smoke, I think, from McAllister's 25 machine. Now, these two drivers are not teammates here for the Racing for Children's IndyCar Series. Just very similarly painted machines. And we've got more action going on up front as well. John Kasai as Matt Brewer right behind him. Also looks like Brian Ziegler trying to catch up and join the party. The number 5 machine. Trying to see who that is cutting through the field here. Oh, that is Matt Brewer way down low. So it's Brewer, Ziegler, Kasai. Brian Ziegler making the move over John Kasai, the Propane Depot sponsor, number 3 machine. And this is a very heated battle for 6th, 7th, and 8th, separated by less than a half second. It's Brewer, Ziegler, Brian Ziegler, and John Kasai. As they are cutting through traffic, I believe. Oh, a precarious spot for Brewer to be in. Brian Ziegler backs off ever so slightly. If we go a little bit further up ahead, back to Paul Gibson and Jared Ziegler. These two still separated by less than a half a second. That gap was closing to about 0.2 over the course of this run. And we got a report as well. 2 different passes going out on track. John Kasai making a move on Brian Ziegler in the number 5 machine. Carrington also made a move on McAllister in 10. So great racing all across this small circuit here at Iowa. And here comes Nick Terrell to make a move on Brian Ziegler as well. Brian Ziegler's still up 3 spots. Qualified 12th, has worked his way up into 9th. but starting to fall back slightly here. Checking back in on race leader Nick Hill Copcar. He is a very comfortable 1.4 seconds ahead of Paul Gibson. But we're getting a crash report. I believe it showed Brindley and Carrington both involved in an incident. No caution. Let's take a look, see what happened there between the two. Brindley in the red and white 92. Carrington in the 03 machine. Let's see what happens. Does Brindley maybe get loose and tag the outside wall into 4? That's exactly what happened. Carrington with nowhere to go, trying to get around the bobbing and weaving 92 machine. And then is it going to be another tandem crash? Yes, it is. Will we keep it off the wall? It looks unlikely. Oh no, both drivers. Big hits into the pit road wall. And you can see the bodywork just getting strewn across the raceway. So still yet another avoided caution there as Carrington had to take a tow back to pit road. I believe he will be retired here, done and out for the evening, back in the virtual hauler as Brindley has limped it around the track back down into pit road. $40 laps into this 180-lap main event. Copcar clicking laps off, making it look easy. He's got clean air ahead of him, Paul Gibson. And second, he's got the most pressure out of the drivers out on course. He's got Jared Ziegler maintaining about a half-second gap behind him as Ziegler holds on to third. And a little bit further back, there's Jared Ziegler, the number 57 machine, still sitting in third. He's worked about a 3.6 second advantage over Peter Redger. Hard charger out on track, though, is going to be Matt Brewer, that number 2 machine. He's gained 7 positions so far this evening and making it look relatively easy. It looks like we still have 11 drivers out on track as Daniel Brindley and Casey Carrington have retired for the evening. And only 8 drivers remain on the lead lap here. I'm going to be interested to see, is there anything Ziegler can do to try and reel in Paul Gibson as we go on board the driver, the number 57, that's Jared Ziegler. He's about a half second back from Gibson, but this is interesting. As for the first time in a while, Copcar has Gibson closing the gap to less than a second. Now it looks like Copcar may be getting a little bit of dirty air off the back of John Kasai's number 3 machine. Oh, Copcar running all the way up against the wall here at Iowa. Now if he backs off too much, Gibson and Ziegler are going to very quickly close that gap, and we're going to have a 3-car battle for the lead here. Here's Copcar in the blue and white, Gibson the red and white, Ziegler in the predominantly green 57. John Kasai, the all-white 03 machine. Excuse me, 3 machine, not the 03 machine. There's 2 3s out on track for some reason. Kasai, who's the number 3, and Carrington, who's the 03. But we're focused on Kasai in the number 3, who's right in front of the race leader, Copcar. And now the field's starting to stack up here. Copcar goes the inside line. So it looked like Jared Ziegler was going to try and do the same to Paul Gibson. And something happened. Kasai was able to hold on to it against Gibson. And now Copcar is going to battle for the lead here. No, excuse me. Gibson's going to battle Copcar for the lead. Gibson falls back to third. Ziegler moves up into second, tucked in behind Copcar's number 4 machine. We are very quickly going to figure out who's been practicing in dirty air on their oval tracks. As the top three all right here, it's Cop Car, Jared Ziegler, Paul Gibson. Less than a half second separating the three. Kasai is going to go a lap down there to Cop Car. Now that's going to be a little bit of a confidence boost for John Kasai as well. That number 3, having the race leaders coming by, I'm realizing, hey, I can stay with these guys. So let's see if Kasai can take some notes and keep that forward momentum as the top 3 stretch out ever so slightly. Cop Car pulls about 4/10 on Ziegler. Ziegler has about 4/10 over Gibson. Now as it stands, nobody inside the top 6 has come down pit road. If we go back to Matt Brewer in 6th, but nobody in the top 5 has come down pit road. If we go back to Brewer in 6th, he came under caution on lap 14. Maybe trying to get off strategy here. It's interesting to see how that possibly plays out. As it looks like Gibson gaining some ground on Jared Ziegler. Ziegler knowing that Gibson's closed the gap now to less than 1/10 of a second. Here comes a big run from Gibson up the inside line into turn 3. Meanwhile, Cop Car's getting a breakaway. He's pulled 8/10 over this now battle for second. Ziegler running the highest line he can, carrying as much speed. Holds on to second place, gaining a 1/4 of a second advantage over Paul Gibson. But Gibson firing right back against Ziegler's 57 in the battle for second. And surprisingly, they're not losing too much time. We got another little race going on here. Norman King, Matt Brewer battling out for the top 5. Brewer on the inside line. King able to make the high line work for him, fending off the number 2 and King's 28 machine. Now Brewer still the hard charger, up 7 spots, trying to make it 8th as he works against King once more. Brewer up the inside line through 1 and 2. King's going to follow in behind. Will King get set up for turn 3 here? Maybe try and draft back? Looks like no. Brewer's going to hold on to the top 5 this time by. Brewer driving like a man possessed, takes advantage of Rettinger, who makes a very slight mistake. Rettinger falls back to 5th. Oh, it looked like King almost got into the back of the Austrian 44. And Matt Brewer has quickly checked out 1.5 seconds over the now battle for 5th. King looking for a series best as well. We try and get the results pulled up. Norman King currently 9th in points. His highest finish so far this season has been a 7th. So King in the 28 machine looking to be in a very good spot if he can just hold on to it. Still a long way to go, about 120 laps left in today's main event. As the other 2 closest drivers out on track is going to be Jared Ziegler, Paul Gibson, 2nd and 3rd. As it looks like Gibson trying to work as much as he can here. Oh, and he's going to make it happen as they go side by side the back stretch here at Iowa. Ziegler showing ahead by 1/10 of a second as he crosses the line. That outside line has been very good to the pilot of that 57 machine. Looks like John Kasai, Brian Ziegler both coming down pit road for a green flag stop on lap 69. Ziegler, let's actually run that down. Cop Car, Ziegler, Gibson, your top three all staying out on their original set of tires. Matt Brewer back and forth. He came down pit road on lap 14. He's off-cycled the rest of the field. As Paul Gibson just does not have any quit in him. Still charging forward, trying to make something happen against Ziegler. Peeks to the inside line, going into turn 3 once more. Gibson briefly has second place, but Ziegler on that open outside line. Oh, this time he's only 0.04 of a second ahead of the number 31 machine of Gibson. We've got problems elsewhere on the track as it shows Brian Ziegler involved in an incident. I think that was an exit pit road mistake, Brian Ziegler. Or as we affectionately call him, Papa Ziegler. Let's see what happens here. I think this is going to be a... Oh. That almost looks like a hardware failure. Tagging the outside wall, doing some odd things there with the machine. Now, while that was going on, Jared Ziegler, Peter Rettinger coming down pit road for their first green flag stops of the evening. Norman King, number 28 machine, also coming down pit road. As it looks like there's Cop Car signaling he's coming down pit road. Paul Gibson will follow suit. Matt Brewer's going to get a lap led here at Iowa, opting to stay out. So on strategy, that's going to leave Matt Brewer. He came down pit road on lap 14. Willing to gamble a little bit, so he's going to be your race leader by, I believe, a country mile. Nick Terrell shows in second, but he has not come down pit road so far this evening. So Brewer in a good spot here. It's going to be interesting how this strategy plays out over the long run. As it stands, it's only Matt Brewer, who again came in lap 14, as well as Nick Terrell, who has yet to come down pit road on the lead lap. Meanwhile, back in third, one lap down, Jared Ziegler and Cop Car, a very fierce battle. Nick Terrell in the 81 machine comes down pit road for his first stop of the evening. Oh no, what happened to Ziegler? Ziegler loses the front right, trying to get off the race line. Yes, the caution must come out as Jared Ziegler. The front right got all explodey on him there in the 57. Let's take a look and see what just happened. Let's back that camera angle up a little bit to see what happened to the 57 machine. See if we can get a little bit better angle here. Maybe grab one of our chopper cams. We're watching Ziegler on the all-green 57. See what happened. And just all of a sudden, the car full wheel lock right. And just absolutely obliterated. Now watch this. Rettinger didn't know where to go there. And it's going to be interesting. What's Matt Brewer going to do as we're under our second caution of the evening? And I'll be right back up here in the broadcast booth, going to grab a liquid refreshment. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with the NemesisLabs.com 180 here at Iowa Speedway. we are back under pacing conditions. Matt Brewer has opted to stay out here. No, he did come down pit road on lap 80, but able to hold on to the race lead. Cop car, I believe, may have gotten a wave around. Oh, he will get the wave around the number 4 machine. So I think that's just going to put 2 drivers in the lead lap if I'm looking at this correctly. As this is our second caution of the evening coming up on the halfway mark. And I feel fairly confident that Cop Car will get the wave around. We wait to see what happens to Cop Car here. I believe there's 5 or 6 drivers ahead of Brewer behind the iRacing safety car. We wait to get everybody into formation once more. As we wait for things to get sorted out here. Yeah, there we go. You hear the engine spooling up. Drivers getting the wave around. To get Brewer back on the front row. Brewer still showing the lap ahead of pretty much anybody here. I think Nick Hill, Cop Car, the number 4 machine, will be one of 2 drivers accompanying the pace car on the lead lap. Of course, this will be Brewer, your race leader, Cop Car in second. 3rd through 11th place. The drivers still remaining out on track. All will be 1, if not more, laps down here at Iowa. Pace car is in.
Green flag, green flag.
And immediately Brewer grabs the throttle and lets her go. He wants to put as much of a gap between himself and Cop Car as he possibly can. Cop Car 3.3 seconds back from your race leader. I think there's going to be a whole lot of traffic mix as well. Let's check in on that number 4 machine. I believe he's got Terrell and Redinger ahead of him going side by side. That's a risky spot to be in. I think that's Kasai's number 3 machine. Cop Car hung up, nowhere to go as everybody's going too wide in front of him here. Cop Car looking for any opening he can possibly find. Not able to find it. All the while, Matt Brewer out front has clean air and making it look easy. I believe that's Cop Car side by side with Kasai's number 3 machine. Now we know Cop Car has paces, but he's got to be very, very careful here. If he throws it away at this halfway mark, all that work will be undone rather quickly. But surely he knows Brewer, the race leader, extending that gap now to 4 seconds. It's been a prime advantage to try and make something happen. Is in front of Cop Car, more too wide action. Cop Car dance around trying to find opening. Now drivers need speeds in excess of 200 miles an hour at this small track in Iowa. They'll let you know how quickly decision-making process needs to be. It looks like Cop Car just about through traffic here, that number 4 machine. And yes, Cop Car looks like he's got a little bit cleaner track ahead of him. As we are officially past the halfway mark of today's main event, it's Brewer, Cop Car, Gibson, your current top 3, Terrell, and Renger rounding out the top 5. Now, if we go back to Renger, he's closing the gap to Nick Terrell, but it's tough to see what's going on track, as there is so many drivers on so many different laps here, kind of muddling the on-track guesswork as we take to see who is where and who's doing what. As there's Kasai dealing with, I believe, lap traffic, trying to see who's in front of that number 3 machine. Almost looks like Norman King. Yes, that's Norman King just ahead of Kasai. Kasai is on his 93rd lap. King on his 92nd. And Matt Brewer just out there in front in no man's land, clicking off laps, making it look easy. He's 4.2 seconds ahead of Cop Car. And he did come in under caution on lap 80 to fuel that machine back up. Now Brewer has only made 4 starts this season. So far, this is his 5th. He has yet to find a podium. He had a fairly good result at Mid-Ohio as well as Indianapolis Road, bringing home a 6th and a 9th, but at Road America and Indianapolis Oval, both the weekends, the driver was forced to put it back in the virtual hauler. But Matt Brewer having all sorts of bad luck. Let's see what he can do with 80 laps remaining, as he would like nothing more for his first one of the season. If not, a top 3 is quite an accomplishment. The field is so stacked each and every week. We're 100 laps into this 180 main event, 180 lap main event, the Nemesis Labs 180. And Brewer extending the gap on Cop Car, still 4.5 seconds to the favor of the number 2 machine. Our hard charger of the evening qualified dismally in 13th, the absolute back of the pack. But he has worked his way through the entire field, worked his way into that top spot. And as it stands, no sign of slowing down. Now, last time by, Brewer with a 17.41, Cop Car a 17.3. So Cop Car was about a 10th faster that last time by. As the field very stretched out at this point, Brewer has a 4.3 second gap on Cop Car, and those are the only 2 drivers on the lead lap here. Third through what looks to be 11th place, those remaining drivers out on track are all a lap or several laps down. See, it looks like that was, it almost looked like Jared Ziegler. Yeah, Jared Ziegler Running 6th on track. Trying to get some of his laps back here at Iowa. Has closed the gap to Matt Brewer. It looks like he has a little bit of help from behind as well. And that's Paul Gibson, the doctor of the 31 machine. He's running 3rd out on track. Gibson a lap down to Brewer and Cop Car, but using that draft from Jared Ziegler to see if he can help pull his way up towards the front here. Now, these two drivers are slowly reeling in. Brewer and Cop Car. But Brewer has pulled off something pretty spectacular here on pit strategy so far this evening. Now we're expecting, if we can go green, and that's a mighty big if, still expecting one final pit stop here tonight under green flag conditions. It'll be interesting to see, what Brewer's strategy is going to be. He's one of the few drivers to get off quickly from the strategy of the rest of the field here. As it looks like Cop Car is closing the gap to Brewer as well, now down to 3.4 seconds. Separating the 1st and 2nd place driver. We're checking in on Cop Car's number 4 machine. It looks like he's gaining about a 10th per lap on the number 2 of Matt Brewer. And now these guys have relatively clean track, absolutely ripping off laps here. As Cop Car is going to have a little bit of traffic to contend with, somebody trying to unlap himself. Can't tell if that's Neri. Yes, it is Andrew Neri, the 65 machine, running 11th after an early incident. Still about 9 laps down from the top 2 drivers, but trying to get as much seat time and experience as he possibly can. Now is Neri going to try and make a move here on Cop Car? Or just follow along and see what the 2nd place driver is doing, taking a few notes? Peter Renger comes down pit road for a green flag stop, an early green flag stop. I wonder if he thinks this is the point where if he boxes now, he can make it to the end of the race on one more tank of fuel. Mary's still trying to get around Cop Car wherever he can. Now Brewer came in a lap 80, your race leader Cop Car and Gibson running 2nd and 3rd, both came down pit road on lap 74 their last time by. If all things stay the same, they're going to be about 30 to 35 laps short on fuel, I believe, if we can go green till the end. And there's Peter Renger getting back out onto the circuit, and the number 44 machine, the all-black 44. He allows Cop Car and Neri to get around him as quickly as possible. Now Brewer's still holding on to about a 3.5 second lead over Cop Car. But it looks like Neri almost tagging the outside wall. Cop Car also going very high there. I wonder if the tires are starting to fall off for these drivers. And that's where we can start to see some mistakes late into a run. Drivers have already been out on track for about 50 laps on these set of tires. And Brewer extending the gap up front now, 3.7 seconds ahead of Cop Car. Now I believe just ahead of Cop Car, rather soon you're going to start seeing Paul Gibson come into focus. Gibson running a 1/10 to 2/10 slower than your top two drivers. Surprised we haven't seen that number 31 machine just out of frame, as it looked like there was Redinger and Neri both on different laps here, but having a little bit of a moment. Spot for Cop Car to be in, battling with drivers that aren't on the same lap, putting himself into the vortex of danger. I think he would much rather have a very safe second. He can afford to back out of it here slightly and allow these other lap drivers by him. He's got almost a 15-second advantage over Paul Gibson, but Gibson has been picking up the pace here as we get ready to go. 50 laps left to go in this main event. The next time Matt Brewer in that number 2 machine crosses the start finish. And there we go. Cop Car backs out of it, decides to come down pit road on lap 130, a green flag stop. As Gibson follows suit in the number 31 machine, or is he going to stay out? He's using, I believe, Jared Ziegler as a tow. And no, Gibson opts to stay out. Holds it down to avoid getting into Jared Ziegler. Now before that, Gibson and Cop Car were on the same fuel strategy. We check back in with the race leader, Matt Brewer, the only driver on the lead lap. Carroll overtakes Cop Car, who is still on pit road. Let's see, how long is Brewer going to stay out for? I would imagine he's going to wait as long as he possibly can to make sure he stays on that lead lap, especially if we do have a late race caution. So far, the strategy has worked well for the number 2 machine, up 12 spots. John Kasai in pit road for a green flag stop as well. Brewer's still clicking off laps, making it look easy. Now Brewer's going to be very careful here when he picks his passes. Not wanting to put the number 2 machine in any dangerous spots. That can also be dangerous when these drivers start to back off the pace ever so slightly to be a little bit safer. They get used to the car handling a certain way when they're giving it 110%. When you back off, then you don't have quite as much aero as you've been relying on. Norman King completing his green flag stop as John Kasai gets back out onto the circuit. Brewer's last pit stop, lap 80. Paul Gibson in second, came in on lap 74. Nick Terrell in third, came in on lap 77. Now we believe most of those drivers are still going to have to make one more stop here this evening. But Brewer is 20 seconds ahead of Paul Gibson. So we may see a little bit of fuel saving, but for the lap time, it doesn't look like it. Brewer's last time by at 17.84. Just 4/10 off his fastest lap of the race. And that's very easy to pick up 3, 4, 5 tenths as you run out behind somebody in the draft. Now, up front, Brewer has no draft support. field very stretched out at this point. Peter Renger has had an incident. Oh, I can see a lot of car parts left behind him, but Renger's going to keep it off the racing surface. So we should be good to go green here. Let's take a quick look to see it happen to the Austrian 44. Oh, loses the back end, going. Looks like he collects it, and then gone to the inside line, inside wall. And then poor Renger's 44 just absolutely implodes here. Now, thankfully, he's able to keep it out on track and limp his way down pit road. As we say that, Paul Gibson comes down pit road for what we think is his final scheduled stop. Matt Brewer staying out a little while longer. Nick Terrell's going to stay out as well. Now we also have a battle for what looks to be third as Jared Ziegler. Nico Kopkar separated by about a quarter of a second. Kopkar came in a lap 129. Ziegler's still out after his lap 80 pit stop. I think Kopkar's going to be able to make quick work of him here. Maybe Kopkar taking the undercut is going to bode well. But it seems Ziegler able to fend off that number 4 machine, but for how long? Because we know Ziegler's going to have to come down pit road once more. Kopkar working the inside line against the 57 of Jared Ziegler. And looks like Kopkar is going to take back over the third place spot. Ziegler gets shuffled back to fourth. Paul Gibson rounds out the top 5. Kopkar gaining about 1/10 of a second on the race leaders. Well, that last time by at 18.2 sticks. No, excuse me, 17.3 out of Kopkar, but Brewer has come down pit road for what we believe will be his final planned stop of the night. That's going to allow, I believe, Nick Terrell to take up the race lead. Kopkar should move to second, Ziegler to third. But where is Matt Brewer going to be out on track once he gets that number 2 machine serviced and fired back up? We've got 30 laps left to go in this main event. Matt Brewer rolls out of pit road. Where is he going to be in relation? Oh my goodness, I think Matt Brewer's still a lap ahead here. Nick Terrell takes over the race lead from Brewer, but has yet to come down pit road after his lap 77 stop. But Nick Terrell will get credit for a lap led here at Iowa. And there's the answer to the question. Matt Brewer 5.9 seconds ahead of Kopkar, who now sits in third. Terrell enjoying the limelight, even though Brewer is right behind him with fresh tires underneath. And Brewer makes very quick work of the 81 machine. I think Terrell's going to get ready to set up for pit road. That is precisely what the 81 machine is doing. And here comes Kopkar, who's going to have his work cut out for him. I think Paul Gibson's going to move up into third as well. As now we see McAllister and Neri accompanying Terrell down pit road. Less than 30 laps left to go. Paul Gibson moving his way up into third. Now Gibson, your points leader so far, and he's got 3 different wins this season. Picking up a win last week at Road America. I think without a little bit of luck going his way as far as cautions, Gibson may have to settle for a podium spot here, as Matt Brewer is 18.7 seconds away of your current points leader. We're 25 laps left to go here at Iowa. And now Brian's number 5 machine comes down pit road for his final scheduled stop of the night. Handing back to Brewer. A dominant 7-second lead over Cop Car. The only other driver still on the lead lap here. As it stands, it's Brewer, Cop Car, Gibson, Terrell, Ziegler, your current top 5. And the field very well stretched out here, as far as drivers in the same lap go, at least. You can see Brewer has a little bit of company up front. Trying to see who that is trying to get a lap back here. Brewer clicking off laps, not having any issues as of yet. I'm trying to see who that is. I believe that's Nary in the 65 machine. Trying to get a lap back. Now, I don't think Nary's going to pressure Brewer too much here, as he's about 10 laps down from the overall race leader in that number 2 machine. So I think Nary's just going to follow along here, click off some laps, and take it relatively easy. Now, Nary came in on lap 145, so he's good to go to make it till the end here at Iowa. Because what just happened to Brewer there? Brewer threw the anchor out. And clicked off a 19.84 second lap his last time by. Is Brewer having a fuel save here, I wonder? The pace still looks good, but I'm a little perplexed. A 17.8 that time by, so Brewer's back on the pace a little bit faster that time, as it looks like Paul Gibson may be fighting to get back on the lead lap. And that's what it was, Gibson getting back on the lead lap ahead of Matt Brewer, who just absolutely threw the anchor out there. 14 laps left to go. It's still Brewer, Cop Car, and Gibson, your top 3. $13 laps left to go. The laps rapidly dwindling for our competitors here today. Brewer holding on, still to a 5.3 second gap. And let's see, 11 laps left to go. It doesn't look like Cop Car closing the gaps we tend to go as Brewer crosses the line. They'll hold on to a 6-second gap over Cop Car in second, Paul Gibson in third. He's about 11 seconds back from your race leader. No, excuse me, 16.9 seconds back from Brewer. Brewer's just got to put in cruise control here with 9 laps left to go if he wants to pick up his first one of this season. Again, the last thing Brewer needs to do is put himself in a risky spot with lap traffic. 8 laps left to go for Matt Brewer's number 2 machine. He again is up 12 positions gained so far tonight, making him our hard charger of the evening. And drivers still remaining out on circuit of the 13 that entered here at the NemesisLabs.com 180. 6 laps left to go. Brewer still desperately wants that first win, but he's got drivers battling in front of him. Gotta be careful here as he navigates traffic. It's one thing to worry about your own driving, but sometimes the other drivers make mistakes as well. Brewer tentatively looks to the inside line, cutting his way through the field. He's about a half second slower that last time by, opting on the side of caution. 4 laps left to go here at Iowa. Brewer has 5.9 seconds advantage over Cop Car. Cop Car just about 16 seconds ahead of Paul Gibson. If we can take the white flag, we will finish this race with no green-white checker attempts. Oh, I may have spoke too soon. Somebody was crashing out in the back. I think that may have been Neri. Yes, it was. Neri has problems late in the race. 2 laps left to go. Brewer's going to take the white flag this time by. And then it's going to be nothing but smooth sailing. White flag is out. Matt Brewer for the final time is going to head through turns 1 and 2 here at Iowa down the back stretch. Through 3 and 4, and put your hands together. Matt Brewer picks up his first win this season here at the Racing for Children's IndyCar Series. Looks like it's going to be Cop Car bringing home a second. And Paul Gibson will round out the top 3 here tonight. Well done to Matt Brewer. He's going to enjoy the moment here, smoking it down for the fans at home. Absolutely ecstatic to have that first win of the season. And we're going to try and get these drivers up here into victory lane. Still waiting on Gibson, Cop Car, Brewer. Looks like we've got Brewer, we've got Cop Car. Waiting on Gibson. And then we can get this party started. So we're going to give Gibson a few more moments here to try and join us up here inside the podium celebration room. All right, we'll give him just a little bit longer. Then unfortunately, we're going to have to move on. So that's going to put Nick Hill Cop Car in the number 4 machine Welcome up into the top two, my friend. It's been a good last couple of weeks for you, and seems like the hits just keep coming here at Iowa.
Hey, thank you. Yeah, it was a good race. A bit confusing when the yellow came out, but that's how it goes. You got to be there to get lucky.
Now, you've said you've been lucky. You've also been very consistent so far this season. It's very rare we don't have you in the podium, if not the top five. What's the key to having such good consistency week in and week out here at the Racing for Children's IndyCar Series?
I think it's just a lot of practice with all the PG-13 crew comparing notes. Having more than one guy show up for the race from the team really helps.
Well, very well said, Copcar. Always a great time having you up here. Another great finish, bringing home a second. Who do you want to give a shout to that helps make this evening possible for you?
I think Paul mostly because I wasn't really gonna race, but Paul kind of edged me on. So thank you, Paul.
Well said. Always a pleasure, my
Yeah.
friend. Hope to have you back up here next week.
Yep. Me too. Thanks a lot, James.
Thank you, sir. That was Copcar bringing home the second. But up next, the man, the myth, the legend, Matt Brewer with his first win here at the Racing for Children's IndyCar Series. Matt, welcome to the top spot. You couldn't ask for a better race here.
Yeah, that was incredible. Really something that I didn't expect going into tonight. I didn't have a great time during practice, and I didn't qualify, so I started at the back, and here I am.
Now, Matt, it's been a rough season so far for you. A season best was Mid Ohio. You finished second. Other than that, it's kind of been a spattering of tragedies throughout the season. What made Iowa just kind of click for you? Because we saw after that very first pit strategy where you get a little bit off cycle for the rest of the field, you were checking out at that point.
I'm not sure what really changed tonight. Like I said, started at the back and didn't have a great time in practice at all. I was having issues every few laps, and then out of nowhere, come race time, it clicked, and I'm glad it did because it feels great to get my first win in this series.
Yeah, and it was a very resounding and dominating win tonight, Matt. Now, we do have an off week next week, but you've got a lot of momentum to build off of. We're going to Indy Road Course. We're going to Gateway, the Oval. We're going to Laguna. What are you feeling about those last three races coming up this season? Any ones you're particularly excited about or apprehensive about?
Definitely looking forward to Indy. This is the second time we've ran there this season, my home track, so I'm hoping I can take this momentum and build off of it.
Awesome, Matt. Myself and the fans at home are going to be looking forward to it. And your first time up here in Podium Room, enjoy it, my friend. You've got the privilege, the pleasure, the final send-offs of the
Awesome.
night. Who do you want to give a shout out to?
I want to give a shout out to my brand new team. I joined Hardpoint by Delta Sport Esports, and this is my first win with them, so it feels really nice to get that win for the guys.
Awesome, Matt. Hopefully it's one of many to come. And again, a great job out there tonight, my friend.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. And that was Matt Brewer rounding out the top three, picking up his first win so far of the season. Again, it's Matt Brewer, his very first win. Copcar bringing home second, and Paul Gibson rounding out the top three. Thank you all to our fans, friends, and family. Tune in, support the broadcast, supporting the league, and supporting a great charity. As always, I've been James East with Team Goon Squad Broadcasting. Thank you all so much, and I'll see you at the next one. Have a great night, everybody.